Okay, Denise and Marlon, I want to thank you for taking this time out to share your experience with members. Marlon, maybe we start off with you. Just a brief introduction to yourself and then your journey towards retiring and resigning.
My name is Marlon. I've been in teaching for a very long time. When I say teaching, I'm talking about in the public sector. I've been in the public sector for 30 years, into the different levels, of course. Ordinary teacher, HOD, deputy principal for several years, and principal over several schools, 3 schools, or 2 schools back then. And then I decided to resign in 2020 for various reasons. For me, it was not a question of deciding between early retirement and resignation. I just felt that I had enough. So I will resign. I've approached a couple of banks and also a few financial planners or advisors, I would say, just to get a little bit of input as to what do I do. And to my surprise, I did not get what I was looking for. Everybody will tell you whether you go to a bank, various banks, or, like I said, financial advisors, they will tell you what you know. And what we know in the public sector, in schools, public schools, is when you resign or when you retire, they will pay the money into your bank account. And that's it. It will take you 3 months before you get your money. If you are lucky, it might take longer than that. And the taxman will deduct 40% of your money. And that's it. So everybody will give you that same story. But I could not find an honest, reliable person to say to me, listen, let's sit down and see why do you want to resign? What are you going to do with your money? And there's other possible ways where you can perhaps have savings or tax or savings on whatever. And that is what I was been looking for. So I've lost a lot of money when I resigned in 2020. Like I said, 40% of deductions have been made by SARS, and I paid over more than 300,000 on tax just to service. Could have been more. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a huge amount of money. That's my journey. Yes, I've made a few investments with the money that I got out, but that is now based on my own experience and nobody else to guide me in terms of investments that I'm going into. Where I've invested some money in the bank and where I bought a piece of property. That is what I've done with my money that I got out of the Department of Education. So that is a little bit of my journey, the short side of it. If I had right advice at that point in time, because I've been trying to look for advice, but you couldn't find people. Sit down and really listen to what is it that you want when you retire or when you resign. And that to me was a little bit of a blow. So I had to go through things by means of trials and error. But I've learned now, especially when Denise also decided, okay, she's going to resign, and she also had to make up her mind between retirement and resignation. And we all know people will tell you resignation is bad, you're going to lose most of your money. Retirement is a better option. Stay in retirement, even if you're unhappy with the conditions at school or whatever the case may be, but stay until the day that you need to retire. And my philosophy in most cases is look after your health first. You can't say to me, stay in retirement, I'm not okay health-wise. So in retirement, you need to enjoy money.
And thank you for sharing, Marlon. And Denise, on your end, given Marlon's situation, he's paid a significant amount of money in tax. What made you want to venture down this path of resigning?
Even I like I've mentioned, I've been contemplating to resign from the start. And I was just a little bit scared on the one side, what to do, how to go about, who can I approach to help me, and so on. it took a lot from me because I had to make the change. I felt deep inside myself, I had to make a change health-wise and on many other levels. I just felt I need to get out of the profession. And then I came across Devon Niker on Facebook. There I realized when I listened to some of the or watched some of the videos and what you shared with people on social media, that was my answer. That helped me actually to make up my mind. And that was on the 13th of December 2023, 6 o'clock, before 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I can remember that very well.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. That memory.
And I just mentioned, I've never looked back because I started watching that very same Saturday.
You joined the Masterclass. What stood out for you in the Masterclass?
Okay, the information that you shared with the people and the information made sense for me. It actually guided me what to do and how to go about. And I just felt, Devon, when remember you gave us the option of retirement versus resignation, I made my mind that day. That helped me. And I never looked back. I started to get into contact with Mandy and I made an appointment, my first session during that very same period. And early this year, I met up with you people, with you for my first session.
Denise, when we see things on these social media platforms, sometimes you don't know whether something is too good to be true, right? How did you know that this was the right route? I was somebody that you could trust, that you could place your faith in to actually take you across the line and plan the resignation well?
I think, Devon, to be honest, I think the way you presented the sessions, the things that you've said, I've dealt with previous financial advisors, and with all respect, some of them gave me what I was looking for, but with the resignation, the tax saving, and all those information that you've shared, I doubted that they would have helped me in that way. And that is why I decided I need to get a session with Devon. Like I said, I've never looked back. I'm happy where I find myself now.
Yeah, amazing. And Denise, you've had phenomenal results. So prior to us meeting, you were heading down this path of resigning. What were you assuming your taxes would have worked out to? Approximately?
A lot, Devon. 200 up to 300,000.
And when we discussed this situation of the pre-98, were you aware of that, or was this something that was totally new to you?
It was totally new to me. Totally new to me.
Yeah. So you can share with members? Yeah. What did you end up paying in tax?
Can I show?
Amazing, Denise. Yeah. And I really want to congratulate you because resignation is not easy. I know you had a lot of challenges with people telling you that you're making a mistake, and you really had to play your part in this, and you followed the guidance, and naturally you're starting to see the results of it. When you look at how far you've come now, and also concerns that you had about medical aid and tax recovered investing, how are you feeling overall about your resignation?
I'm very happy where I find myself now, Devon, especially the fact that I am in control. I'm looking at, at where you can change with your income. You can change it on an annual basis. You are in control. That makes it much easier for me. But with the help of someone with the knowledge, and that gives me that assurance that I can't go wrong, or I did not go wrong.
100%. And Denise, I got to ask you this. When we first started, you had a lot of pressure in terms of the debts. How are you feeling now that you owe nobody a cent?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Even I'm very free. And that's the best feeling,
Excellent.
of this whole process.
And what's your health like now? Because I know that was one of the motivating factors for you to leave.
I'm 100% okay. Just now and then, the normal flu that I get. I've started to walk, doing some exercises on a regular basis, and I'm on top of the world health line.
Excellent. So how's that stress level looking like?
0%.
So amazing. So Marlon, say we could somehow turn back time. If you got access to this information that you saw in the masterclass, you witnessed the planning that we did for Denise, what do you think your situation would have looked like, and how much of tax could you have saved?
Situation would have been 100% completely different, a more positive lookout in terms of if I had all of this knowledge. And then you've asked Denise a question now in terms of what convinced them. You simplified matters, because I've listened in on some of the classes. You simplified matters. You broke it down, the smallest little thing, and then you guided them through. And that was amazing. Your honesty, and when you say, I'm coming back to you with this, you will come back with that, with the solution. So those are the things that people are looking for outside. Those are the things that I've been yearning for, and I couldn't get it. So I know for a fact, if I go in this direction, and make no mistake, yes, we will stay with you for as long as we are alive. Right? And based on that, in terms of tax, I would have said, because Denise made it very clear, and I'm a testament to that, that she didn't pay tax, or tax was very little. I would have been in the very same position 4 years ago. And that's an amazing feeling, where somebody can show you the right way to do things, right? Not an illegal way of doing things, but the right way of doing things. There's many of us who's not aware of that 1998 issue that you spoke about as well. I was never aware of it. So even in my case, for example, that is something that nobody mentioned, not even the district officials, not even officials at GEPF, if I'm not mistaken. But they will not make you aware of that. So for me, my life would have been, our lives would have been completely different. And maybe I could have influenced people over the last 4 years, but this is a possible way that you can look at it. There's a person here that you can go and listen to, speak to. You don't have to have me there, and then you can judge for yourself. And I could not believe the information that I received from Denise and yourself when I've listened to it. I said, is this possible? But then you prove also this is how it works. And I think that was the most important. We've prayed over the fact that, sure, is this real? You hear about scammers and so on. But this woman sitting next to me, Evan, she believed in you because she prayed about this. And she believed in you. And she said, I don't care what people are saying, but I'm going to stick with this guy. And I said, if this is how you feel, you've invited me to sit in, and I've listened to some of these things. So I will support you in every possible way that I can, because what Devin Nike is saying is making sense. And I think that to us was the big thing, your honesty, your commitment. Even with medical aid, for example, I had problems with medical aid when I left. I had to pay medical aid back of 41,000 back then, because I had my mother on my medical aid. And you've helped her through the medical aid. You made her also realize, not just her, you made me realize, oh, this is how simple some of these things are. You just need to get the right people to guide you and to believe in you. Yes, you need to do homework yourself as well, but it's your life, so you need to do it. So for me, it would have been a complete different ballgame. A more positive outlook in life, a more positive investments in life.
Thank you so much for sharing. And as you said, we partnering with each other for life. It's so critical because resignation is not just a sprint; it's a marathon. It's a journey that we're working toward. If there are members out there who need some type of guidance, they're not sure which route to take, whether to retire or resign, what sort of support would you say, or what would be like a good starting point for them?
For me, I've seen how resignation is not as bad as people wanted us to believe it is. So it's a question of doing your homework, go out there and find out. Try and get as much information possible, and then take a decision as to what you want to do. But it is not as bad as people are advocating there on the outside, where it's departmental officials, whosoever is saying to us, resignation is bad. Resignation is bad if you don't get the right advice. Then you might just have a problem. With the right advice, then you can do your financial planning with the right advice. I've watched a video 2 days ago where this guy also said there's 5 steps to retirement or resignation, right? And the one where we find ourselves is the 3rd step, the reality one, where you're starting to see, okay, this is happening. I had to adjust in terms of my salary. What do I do? So if you don't go through that one, then the next 2 steps might be negative or positive for you, because now your friends are disappearing as well because we're getting older. The minute you start realizing those things and you move on to the next stage in a positive way, then you're good to go. But people also, they get lost in this reality step where they don't want to accept certain things and say, okay, I used to earn 40,000 rand. Now I'm going to earn this amount of money. But then they forget about you're debt free, you don't have this, you don't have all of those other things again. So your lifestyle has changed. And you need now to associate with people that's more or less on the same level that you are. Right? And that also play a role then in you moving forward, in your happiness moving forward. And we want to stick into the past and think the past is still with us. It's not.
What an amazing share. And I want to thank you both for taking the time to inspire other members.